What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the BlkPrint. J5 in the building. Josh Pease, what's going on, brother?
I'm here, man. That's my Nixon, Getting to the political season, man. We getting into it, man. Let's start the campaign trails. A little sick, but I'm here.
You can't help yourself.
I can't, man. As soon as I did it, I saw it. I'm like, yeah.
Like
double peace sign was nuts.
Heavy into politics lately, man.
Jesus Christ.
Get out and vote.
What have you been finding?
No. What's up, Mark?
Past and present. Yeah, man. About to rock the vote. Trap the vote.
Jesus Christ.
Trap the vote.
Trap
Mark,
the vote.
Mark always got the worst questions to ask at the worst time about this shit. I'm just like, Mark, why would you ask that?
Why is it should be the answer that's bad, not the question. I think the question's appropriate.
The question is never appropriate when it comes to Josh Pease, ever.
Hey, man.
Y'all be giving Josh Pease a hard time, man. Now I see what Josh be talking about.
And
now I see what Josh be talking about. Yep. New presidency, new age. Yeah, I see what they be talking about.
Man.
Since when did you niggas get on the same page? Y'all been on the same page for 3 months.
This is Vince McMahon and Eric Bischoff raising each other's hands at Raw that night. I'll
cut my camera off right now. Get the fuck out of here. I'll cut my shit off right now. I feel like it's been like 6 weeks since we did this show. And like, I always feel like, damn, I feel like it was like April we did this shit last, but it's not. And that just shows just how accelerated life has been lately. Like, I just feel like everything is just happening at just such an accelerated rate. It was just like, I feel like millions of things happen in the 2 weeks that we like don't have the show. Obviously, me and Mark had overly conversating last week. But I feel like with this, I just feel like there's so much shit that happens on a day to day.
Man, this year has been cramming a lot of shit into every day. Like every day, like 5 things that happen. It's like, damn.
Yeah.
It feels like it's been a while, but it hasn't been too long.
Yeah, like now we're firmly in the graduation season. I'm just coming back from Virginia. My niece graduated a couple of days ago. It's so weird to see how graduations are now, like what kids like the valedictorians think about and what they say. You know, I was on Virginia and the valedictorian speech started, and I'm gonna tell you what I did. I went to the snack bar. I left. I didn't listen to that shit.
Damn.
I was out.
You're trying to be inspired?
By what?
You know, the next generation. Don't the valedictorians leave a message for like the next gen, for like middle schoolers, and just tell them, you know, what to prepare for?
This motherfucker quoted Tupac. And I said,
get your head up.
he quoted the "You are appreciated" shit and started naming off people he appreciated.
You are appreciated. That nigga think he Kevin Durant.
And so I hit the Jerry Seinfeld.
Just walked out the room.
Said, I'm out of here. I'm not taking that. Listen, man, these kids are too much for me now, man. Like I think that like I tried to like kind of get a clue in on what the Gen Z graduation was like, and there was of course TikTok references, Instagram story references, all of those things happening. But what got me was like the salutatorian, like the second place, the runner up who gets his own little short speech. This motherfucker's like an aviator. I'm like, bro, y'all niggas got money to be practicing how to fly?
Oh shit! Shout out to him, smart kid.
Like that shit's crazy. I was like, I could never have that like talent or even like have that discipline to do that at like 17. Like I'd be thinking about all types of shit in the air and some shit would go down. I would not be able to do that shit for sure.
I thought there was problems with the pilots. Weren't they all just not riding? Weren't they all just trying to get a lot better wages and all that a couple months ago?
That's the flight attendants. And let me tell you about American Airlines.
Slander?
Worst experience I had on a plane in a minute. American fucking sucked this weekend, and I think a lot of it had to do with the flight attendants going on strike. Like apparently, like they like the way flight attendants get paid is real funny, and I'm not really sure of all of the specifics of it. But like they have to show up to work, from what I understand, and then they get assigned. So if they don't have an assignment, they got to wait all day, like 8 hours, unpaid, and like they don't get paid unless they're in the air.
Really?
Apparently, yeah.
I'm going to fact check that. We need to get a flight attendant on there. I know a former flight attendant. She did private, but yeah, I feel like they tell you to show up to work and then wait for your ticket. Like, no,
yeah.
like
But they got a shift, and then they tell you where you got to be, but they got to give you an assignment allegedly. So like I think that's what they're saying is that they need to be getting paid for those moments that they're like away from home and they're not in the air where they're not getting paid. And I think that's from what I understand, I might be wrong. That's what I'm saying. I might be wrong from the way I understand it, but there's a lot of instances where flight attendants don't get paid, and it seemed like this weekend they was understaffed as fuck because my flight got pushed back like almost a whole day. I actually had to leave on Saturday. I didn't leave on Friday. I left on Saturday, and my flights was getting pushed back. There was somebody that was at one of my layovers that was there from 6:00, and it was already like 12, and it was just stuck. Somebody was supposed to be in Newark, and then he ended up in Norfolk, and I was like, "How the fuck did that even happen?" like Newark is up there, and EWR is up there, and Norfolk is way down here. How did you even?
Don't be reading, boy.
He got the wrong plane. Say, you should just fly Delta, man. Best airline.
Sad. Bro, Delta be cracking niggas over the head, bro. But they had exactly.
They absolutely do.
I usually fuck with United. I don't know what people's thoughts are on United. I fuck with United. I got a lot of points there that I'm still accumulating. But Delta's cool. But I had a terrible experience on Delta too.
Damn, what happened?
Lost my bags once. Pushed a flight back to like there was a nigga that died or not died, but he passed out on one of my Delta flights in 2020. I stepped over the nigga. I gotta catch this layover, my nigga.
I'm definitely getting some miles off that. That's crazy. I've never had a lost luggage experience, and I pray to God I never do have one. That's like one of my biggest fears.
It's happened to me.
I'm about to own the airline.
It's happened to me. I picked up somebody's luggage that wasn't mine. I was just telling my wife the story. Like, so I had a Herschel duffel bag, the old Herschel bags that was black, got like the little black or the brown strap or whatever, exact same bag. It was a full flight, so I guess me and another person had the same exact bag in the same compartment. We were getting out. The flight attendant was handing us off our bags and stuff. Hands me the wrong bag. I'm like, this bag's a little bit heavier than I thought. I only went to Portland and I didn't buy like a bunch of stuff when I went there. I was just like, wait a minute. I told the person I went with, I put the bag down, unzipped it, a bunch of camera equipment in my bag. Like a red camera was in that.
That's a lick.
You should have just kept walking.
Yeah, that's a lick. A couple clothes for a camera.
I don't need that shit. I had like my essentials in there, man. I had shoes and shit in there.
You can trade that for a red cam for sure.
For real, that's probably like $3K worth of camera, $3K worth of camera equipment.
Man, fuck that. It's the principle, y'all. It's the principle. They fucked my shit up, man. It's the principle, bro. Fuck that. I think that it's crazy that there's all of this shit going down and flights is still fucking expensive as hell. In fact, actually, it wasn't that bad for me to get to Norfolk, to be honest with you. And that's usually like a killer flight. And it was cool to be home though, again, for the second time in a month. But summertime out there, just good food. I got some seafood out there. There was a jackalope festival, like a skateboarding and shit like that, like a little festival going on the ocean front out there, and that was pretty cool to go to, and had a pretty good time. So shout out to all the graduates that are going through it right now. It's you're coming into a crazy world as an adult right now.
Yeah, man, welcome.
Welcome to this summer. Welcome to this summertime. This summertime is hot. I didn't expect it to be this damn. Well, I expected it to be this damn hot, but I knew you told me a couple months ago. Valley heat is a lot different than what it was in February or so, and it's a lot different than Florida was in general too. So I'm like, okay, 89 degrees out here is not as bad as 89 degrees out in Florida, but it's hot, and you probably wouldn't see it since I'm wearing a hoodie. But
that's because your air is on.
That's true too. Can't hear it, thank God.
Yeah, no, it's funny to hear that coming from someone who lived in Florida for the last 10, 12 years. But yeah, no, like LA, and that's the thing. Everyone's like, oh, it's June gloom. Like, it hasn't been hot. I'm like, nigga, it's been hot as fuck lately. Like, I've been riding around with my air conditioner on. I think it hasn't looked hot to people, but it's been very, very hot.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we're having like the heat wave, like the heat dome pulse is happening this week. Like
heat dome. All right.
What?
Heat dome?
Even Josh had to be like, that was
crazy.
That's crazy.
No,
this is unbelievable.
Dome only got one real like definition for me nowadays.
So in a couple months when we head to a Clippers game, where are we going to? What's the arena called?
Look at that name altogether. That's a wild name.
Inuit Dome is wild.
Into it, ain't it?
Into it, yeah.
Into it. Are you into it?
Dome.
Y'all niggas are unbelievable.
We're literally 13 years old. But yo, the heat dome is happening right now. It's like 89, almost 90 degrees for the rest of the week. And I mean, it's about to get crazier. Like it's hot right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm glad it's heating up though, because like coming off this fucking when I was sick, I had the cold like last weekend. So I didn't go outside all weekend. I'm just like looking out my window like, fuck, it's nice out there. Just do something. I was just down in my car at one point and just drove around. Like, fuck. People.
Well, yo, we want to thank everybody that listened to the latest episode of Overly Conversating, and I gotta get Josh's stance on this because this is the great debate that everyone's talking about. I don't know if you heard the episode or saw the clips that we put up about Mark's housewarming gift etiquette, liquor etiquette.
I did see
if you didn't know, Mark brought over some Mark's face is fucking hilarious.
delicious tequila, might I add.
I don't know. Brought over some tequila, got niggas bent, and you know, we had a good 15-minute conversation about what's the etiquette. So if it's a housewarming, Josh, what do you bring into the housewarming? Let's continue this over from that show to this show.
Well, see, this is my thing. At a housewarming, I'm bringing something simple. A candle. Come on, Mark. A candle suffices. A nice candle. You know, the Labo, you know, what are them just nice, you know, 60 to 75, maybe $100 candles. Here, big candle for your place. Liquor.
That's usually what you pull up to at the housewarming. Absolutely. Does it depend? Does it matter if this is like a formal housewarming as opposed to somebody that you've known for X amount of years?
Someone with a candle. That's my go-to every time.
I'd appreciate a candle as well.
Now, if it's a party, I get it. You're like, oh, I want some libations for the party.
Yeah.
If I'm going down the liquor list, tequila is definitely like number 5. Like
5?
Got champagne, wine. There's a couple of cognac is like damn near better than tequila.
You're going cognac over tequila for a housewarming?
A nice bottle of Hennessy.
Here's the thing.
A Hennessy, like something that people in age, like you bringing something to take shots.
Yeah, like
I bought a nice bottle of Don.
Like Josh got a point. Hennessy is not something that people is gonna jump to drink that day.
I hope not. I truly hope not. I'll be concerned for the housewarming.
For a dorm.
That is not a dorm. See, this is why I'm so glad the tequila community reached out to me and said,
shit.
Don't waver, don't get bullied. The tequila community
that?
stood with me.
Who's the community? One person?
I can't. It's more than one. First and foremost.
Why not? Who said it?
I can't give away the sources. What's
the name? Tequila?
Tequila. Where is Tequila?
Here's the thing. Tequila drinkers that you was talking about are probably like 22 years old or 23 years old saying that it's A-okay to do that shit.
Bring the tequila.
Or rubbing their hands like it's... What?
Hey, man. Nah, I wouldn't bring tequila. That's crazy, honestly.
I've learned from my mistakes. I'm going straight Moet going forward. Yeah, y'all enjoy the champagne. Do what you do. But then, you know, big shout out to Byron. Byron put me onto the 2-bottle game. Byron, a big listener of the BlkPrint. He said, yo, listen, just do some champagne. Have that for the table. And if you really want tequila that bad, if you want to sip, just bring a personal. And I was like, I don't really feel like pulling up with 2 bottles of tequila.
A personal makes you look like an alcoholic.
I look wild pulling up with a personal.
You come out the pocket with a flask.
Remember Living Color when Damon Wayans played the bum and he kept pulling the shit out of his. That's what Mark is gonna show looking like.
Hell no, absolutely not. If I'm sticking, I'm gonna stick to 1 bottle and it's gonna be what we drinking. So if it's Moet, we sipping champagne. at this house.
With the 1942, the personals, the shots. You seen those lately?
If niggas are doing, I don't want to shame. I'm not gonna alcohol shame. We just a couple minutes ago, I told Five, since I moved out here, I've drank a whole lot less than what it was in Florida. He said bullshit. I don't think that's bullshit. I have clearly drank a whole lot less. I would usually keep bottles at the house in Florida, and out here I'm just like, not that I don't have much of an interest in drinking, but you know, for the most part, I'm staying safe. I'm staying good. I haven't really had too much of an interest in it. Not the biggest smoker in general. I think even when I started, what was like 12 years ago or so, I don't even have too much of an interest of it out here. I feel like, not to say that, sobriety's a walk in the park, but I feel like it's not that hard.
But I mean, I think after your first edible adventure, your first damn weekend here, I think that would have made me put the brakes on anything.
Yeah, that's true. That was like the first couple of days out here, and I was just like, yeah, I gotta remember I'm not in Florida because that shit had to, that shit was an uppercut.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm glad you learned your lesson from that because there's no way that I would have ever done shit like that for sure.
But yeah, like I said, I feel like it's been a lot less than before. I've learned from my mistakes. I'm not gonna be too bottle guy. If we're champagning, we're champagning.
Okay.
And it just is what it is at that point.
And tell the tequila community we're not listening to them because they already got problems.
Y'all are throwing away the bag of bags slandering the tequila community. What if Mr. Don Julio himself came through and said they want to sponsor the BlkPrint?
I will pitch it responsibly, but I will not tell you to bring it to a housewarming, and I feel as though they would not tell you to do that either.
Just wait. If you see a commercial, the commercial's gonna start. Ding dong. Door opens. 2 bottles of Don. Actually, that's gonna feel like remember that Wayans Brothers episode when they had Marlon doing the malt tequila.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to go too crazy with the alcohol as I think.
Bro,
but we'll take it back.
Mark, you just hit the biggest for now, bro. Like, there's no way that they're gonna be mad at me saying that shit.
Yeah, he gonna post the next one with a bottle of Terramana or some shit.
Exactly. Even if we get an alcohol sponsorship, I have thought about that. Like, if we get an alcohol sponsorship, how the hell am I gonna sell that? Because I don't know anything about the smooth, how it goes down smooth, pause, or whatever the hell they want me to say.
I don't think that our first alcohol ad should be, Don Julio goes down smooth, pause. I don't think that's going to be very welcomed from the from our sponsors.
Me and the queens. Yeah, no, man. You can fake it. Throw a shot on your shoulder.
I mean, we could be pitching a whole bunch of other stuff. We could be pitching NordVPN. We could be pushing what's the other joint? Hims.
Yeah. O'Doul's. We could be doing what's the hair loss shit? I think I could do a really good hair.
Hims, ain't it?
Hims. I could do a real good Hims.
Hims got the erectile dysfunction, the hair loss.
Yeah, look at that.
Sweeter products. Hims, holla at us, man.
Hey, listen, Blue Chew. Hannon.
What's your read pitch on Blue Chew? Exactly.
My elevator pitch on Blue Chew is get the BlkPrint on staying up with Blue Chew.
I thought you were gonna go somewhere way different when you started talking about BlkPrints and Blue Chew. I was about to be like, I'm backing the fuck out.
Or what you told me to say? You could beat it up to what did you expect? You're gonna beat it up till it's black and blue with the BlkPrint. Win Blue Chew.
No, like, that is wild. If you were gonna do that, I would have been like, our ads ain't coming in at any point in time soon.
Get slizzy with us. With Blue Chew. And then
you want to get that would be a great partnership. Blue Chew and Cash Cobain.
Yeah.
Come on.
They can get me in the marketing department at Blue Chew. Because I got some R&D ideas too, like Blue Chew, the honey pack version, like just the syrup. Like, come on.
Oh.
I'll really turn one of these companies up. They need to go ahead and hire me.
Why haven't they made like the fruit roll-up version of these enhancement shits? Like you just roll it out, some for now. Some for like you like it's like fruit by the foot. You can eat a lot of it, or you could just piece it off throughout the day. Easy. And it just looks like candy. You only got to pop a pill.
Honey Packs scare me, man. I can't do it. I feel like my heart's going to be beating like Dougie Fresh, bro. I can't do it.
Man, it's fine, man. It's all natural.
Is it? I seen the video of niggas pouring honey into mouths in the club. I'm just like, maybe we're doing a lot. But then I also last year saw people putting honey in chicken. So, you know, we just are where we are at a certain point.
That was some Florida shit for sure. Speaking of wild shit, Throwblacks, we got that on the way. I have deemed it so. It will be Eminem show.
White Boy Summer continues. Okay.
Yeah.
White Boy Summer.
It matches because Eminem put out Houdini. I watched that video and I said, oh yeah, we got to talk about where he used to be compared to where he is today, because I don't know who the rapper is that I saw in that video, but it definitely.
You didn't like the record?
Houdini?
Yeah.
It's Eminem.
It's the same rapper you heard back in the day when you're in 8th grade. You're just not in 8th grade anymore.
It's not though.
Same rapper.
It's like he is definitely, to me, there's a point where it's like he's plateaued as a rapper, and so he's kind of at this same level. I still feel like in his older albums he was still going upward and getting better. So like we'll talk about this when we talk about the episode. So just keep that locked. This month we're gonna be doing Eminem show on Throwblacks. So keep that locked. But another thing coming up this week, NBA Finals, big game. I think I might actually watch this because I actually, as sacrilegious as it for me to say, I actually kind of like this Boston Celtics team. I kind of dig them. Shout out to A+.
That was weird. Okay.
Why?
I mean,
I'm about it.
I'm a Laker fan through and through.
Of course.
Last time I ever thought about even leaning into the Boston Celtics, they burned me bad. So
you're not gonna bet again?
I'll never in my life depend on those bums. Mavs in 5. White Boy Summer, Luka Doncic. It's going crazy. Got big Kyrie Irving. Yeah,
I don't think I've ever seen you throw a setup in camera.
Crazy until that up.
Gonna butt that out.
You want me to censor it? Okay, I'll blur it out for you. I was like, whoa, when did Josh ever throw a setup?
Josh is
I really believe that the Mavs will win in 6. Let's say 6.
6. What do you think it means for Kyrie to win this championship? I feel like it's a little bit different, especially after all of the stuff that he's gone through for the past 4 years, just in terms of teams he's been on, the general kind of just outlook of his character. We've talked about it on this show before. You know what I mean? Just Kyrie being a kind of a firebrand for all types of criticism. Like, what does this mean for him?
This is a revenge tour. I think, this means more than winning the one with the Cavs, because I think you don't have LeBron and he's not LeBron's shadow. Also think, like you said, after everything he's been through as an athlete, when he left the Nets, they were like, get riddance. He's done for. His career is over with.
Yeah.
And the land in Dallas and do what he's done, and like the way he's done it, it's like, this is a wizard, man. Like, he has a ball in the string, and like I think he really. I never really saw, even when he got to the Mavs, I was one of those people who was like, I don't really see it for this team. And to see how far they've taken it, it's special, man. I think he's the biggest part of that. Luka, great player, really out there having his way. White Boy Summer, for sure. He's playing Tommy Richmond in the headphones before the game, for sure.
Doing this.
Yeah, but I really credit it a lot to Kyrie. I think he's putting his team on his back, and it's not just like an on the court thing. I think it's just the mentality of this team. I think he's really them.
And more than that, the team they went through their growing pains. You know what I mean? It didn't look like it was going to work at first. Like it looked like it was going to be quite contentious at first between Kyrie and Luka. It was like, who's going to hold the ball? You know what I mean? And they finally found that like perfect mix and brought in the role players. And I've watched some of those games. There were blowouts between the Wolves. Like they were bad. They let them get a little close in the final game, but then it was just like they just carried them away. And I thought of that for a lot of these playoffs, is that there was a lot of fucking blowouts. I know Cam brought it up on Twitter one day. Like a lot of these games were just like up 30. Like what is causing this? Like Mark, what is your take on all these blowouts? Like I did not find that interesting at all.
I think game plan wise, Dallas probably watched everything that happened between Minnesota and Denver, and Minnesota did get a lot of credit. I give Minnesota a lot of credit in general, just being able to knock off the NBA champions. I was a little bit nervous at first, not necessarily in a bad way. I don't think I would have been upset if Denver actually ended up defeating Minnesota in 7 games when you would have had Denver-Dallas, and then you have the chance of Denver repeating as back-to-back champions. Yeah. I wasn't really going to be mad about that, but to see what the response that it got from Minnesota of their winning of the second round, I was just like, okay, seeing the response of what came from that online, in media, of this is the number 1 defense in the league. Anthony Edwards is about to be the big face in the NBA, and I still think that he is, even with the Western Conference Finals.
Mark, why was there so many blowouts in the playoffs? What are you talking about?
Why was there so many blowouts? Why was there so many blowouts in the playoffs? I mean, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you with a specific reason as to why. Game plans get destroyed, game plans get bodied, and we have what we have.
I'm like, what are you talking about?
To Cameron, to the floor. Nah,
I was trying to see. This is what I just can't paint pictures. Can I just paint pictures?
Bob Ross.
Sometimes I just want to paint a picture. Sometimes I just want to put a little illustration instead of just the one little piece there. I worked on my isms. My ism's been good. I haven't even used the ism this entire episode.
But good job. But you just definitely went all the way off the beaten path. I'm just literally looking at you like,
I'm waiting for the answer.
I was getting there if you would have let me.
My answer to that question is I just think the teams in this playoffs were just terrible. You got fucking Toronto, the Cavs, fucking Indiana,
Orlando.
Like a lot of these teams were like, you looked up and you saw them in the playoffs, and you're like, oh, y'all had good seasons, but like y'all not playoff teams. Like I'd much rather see other teams in the playoffs that just didn't make it. Like the Lakers. The Lakers is a good playoff team. Like even that Lakers series, like the Laker-Denver series, not for nothing, a good series, even though they almost got swept. Every game was pretty close. So, I think just the teams, the gap between how good these teams were just really, really wide. And you saw it when they got later in the rounds.
Absolutely. And I mean, one big story and talking point coming out of it going into the finals, Anthony Edwards, definitely my favorite player of this whole season. Like just a guy, just instant quotables, instantly. Fuck buddy. But he puts out a commercial on it was like the morning after they lost to Dallas, and it was really kind of the timing of that was kind of weird to me. I felt like it could have came out like, Nike will usually have it like right then, like don't worry, you know what I'm saying, like they'll usually be like on it, but Adidas had it the next day. Maybe the social guy was on vacation, who knows, but they had a commercial that was already set, and I think do you feel like the commercial would have worked both ways, like if they won or lost? I feel like it was turnkey.
I think it could have been, but I think it was like a lost commercial. It was like, if we lose, like I think they have a different commercial if they win.
Yeah,
it's like, why you keep receipts if you won? Like, nigga, if you won, you on to the next, celebrating some capacity. Right. But for the timing and just the thought around the commercial, it's like Adidas is trying their hardest, man. But how long is your contract, bro? Is it 5 years?
Because the
ready to get crazy, man.
Exactly. Like the thing that's crazy about it is that it was a good idea in terms of taking Twitter users. It's a bad idea to me when you put in celebrities who also said things about you into the commercial, because it makes you look kind of like petty and to me second rate.
Here's my thing. I don't mind the celebrity angle. I think the angle of like his cousin or brother, whoever that was, reading it off and then you not saying Cameron in his name correctly. Call Cameron Cameron.
Call him Cameron.
What? Like, how old are you, kid? I don't know. I just that part was like, y'all could have did this better. And like, even if I'm on set as an Adidas person, I'm like, oh yeah, run that back. Let's get a different take of that. Like that has to go through so many different channels, and for it to land like how it landed was just kind of whack. And then just even thinking about the quotes he pulled. To your point about the celebrities, I'm sure there were other quotes from non-celebrities that could have hit harder. But it's like you put Cameron who said great things about you, He said, he said he thinks you're a superstar or all-star, not a superstar. I mean, that's a slight, but he has said that he admires your game and thinks you're dope. Right. Then you use Carmelo Anthony, who's been one of your biggest fans across his podcast. Right. It just felt like they didn't really do any like fact checking into it. They might have just saw some tweets and things that went viral and just ran with it. And I really think that's the difference between the Adidas and the Nike, like that. That attention to detail, that the release schedule, like even like Nike would have had that commercial up as the first commercial coming out of the post game interview or whatever's going on after the game. As soon as they handed a trophy to the fucking Mavericks, the next commercial would have been Anthony Edwards. So
because the story then becomes, am I going to do it next year? Right. It's Nike starting in a story of just like literally at that moment, is he going to do it next year? And these are the receipts of people saying that you couldn't do it this year, and I did it. So how am I going to do it next year? I didn't like I feel like the more that I watched it, I felt like the fuck buddy thing was not fuck buddy. When he said fuck him, was I feel like they clipped that from something else. Did you get that sense where they cut him saying that about something else, not exactly Cameron? I feel like he wasn't saying that about Cameron. I feel like he was probably saying that about something else.
I don't know. My thing is like, it's just like that. I don't know. It just didn't feel genuine. Like even if you didn't like what he said, I didn't even feel genuine. It was like you could. I don't know. I just wanted a little more authenticity, and I know what they tried for, like just the Atlanta, and they have to play on his story of just who he is as a personality rather than a athlete.
Right.
I think it just didn't hit right, man. Like, we were in our group chat just talking about it. And they're like, what you think they would have done if he would have won? I'm like, he's been like A-Town stumping with fucking Usher. Like, that's some shit Nike probably would have done. They would have had like Usher or Ludacris or somebody, like just, or it probably wouldn't even have been that old. It would have been fucking.
It would have been Lil Baby.
Yeah, Lil Baby pull up. They freestyle, nigga. They would have did the freestyle. They would have been freestyle verse playing while he's shooting buckets up. Like,
because you have somebody who I think has the look, the personality. We see these face of the league talk, and like I don't watch basketball like as hard as I used to, but this guy, he has our attention for a reason. You know what I'm saying? He has our attention because he's actually making he's making a way in the game, but he's also making a way in just conversation. Not many players are doing that right now. Like I think that's amazing, and especially to be from such a popular city like Atlanta, there's just so many places for synergy for him to happen. You know what I mean? Like he can be placed into a lot of things in a way that some Atlanta Hawks almost can't, because where they are right now. And I just thought that the commercial was ill-timed, but Cameron's response to it, what was your thought, Josh? Because I felt like I was like, a whole freestyle is kind of like,
this some old nigga shit. Cameron's hilarious. He's like, I'm about to run a verse. Do what I do.
It was a good freestyle.
Yeah, right. He freestyling his verse. People walking by the video in the wind. People just walking by, going to work in the morning. I'm like, come on, Cam. It was a good freestyle, but it was also just like, to me, it would have landed better if he would have just addressed the Anthony Edwards shit. But he kind of just addressed his whole last month and a half.
He's going Adidas now. Do you see that weird video he put of the guy's leg out the bone?
Oh yeah, Kevin Ware. No, that honestly. That's what you get when you don't fact check. Because now it's like, I'm not worried about it. I'm worried about Adidas, and I'm about to hit y'all at the bottom line. I'm about to have Kanye come on this documentary and talk about y'all. Yeah. I'm about to have Kevin Ware. I'm about to have every athlete, because that's a known thing. A lot of athletes have gotten injured wearing Adidas.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. Fucking Jalen Rose, like RG3. There's been a few. Right. So it's like, for him to even make that a story and run with that, it's like, okay, like, y'all, this is King Petty. This nigga just went on CNN and promoted his fucking sex enhancement drug while dodging questions about Diddy, acting like he wasn't brought there to talk about Diddy. Why would I ever fuck with this guy? Like, what do you think he was gonna do?
Like, it's crazy because, again, you have an opportunity here to kind of shy away from that, because Adidas has bad publicity no matter how you cut it. Like the Yeezy thing, literally today as we speak, they're up on the site for 50% off. Oh, yeah. It's just the optics of all that is bad. They just look bad for a lot of stuff. And the one victory that they've had, or two victories, is Anthony Edwards sneaker, and the new Harden sneaker being as popular as they are. And now you taking attention away from that. And now is Cameron about to talk about all the athletes that have been hurt wearing the shoes. It's just bad timing.
Nasty. And I was on I got the Harden sneakers. I couldn't find the Anthony Edwards ones, but yeah, man, Adidas, come on, man. I need a brother in the boardroom. Bring me in. Campaign it right now.
He said, bring me
right. Bring me in.
in is crazy.
The double thumbs up, the double peace sign.
Who is this guy?
Campaigning, man.
I'm not trying to. No,
what is that?
I'm so serious with you right now. Cut it out. Cut it the fuck out, bro. Let's stick on the basketball thing, because a lot of stuff has happened. Basketball has been at the forefront of conversation for the past 2 weeks, especially with the playoffs, Anthony Edwards. But we got to get to the WNBA. This is a topic we don't really talk about a lot. Yeah. So this is what we're talking about here, and we're talking about specifically Caitlin Clark and her treatment in the first month of WNBA's season. She's been getting a lot of conversation on the court, off the court, but also a lot of things happening physically on the court, a lot of things being said to her by her fellow peers and players and things like that. Overall, what are y'all's thoughts on this whole thing right now?
Wow.
I'm trying real hard to keep my composure.
I'm joking.
He is not joking. That's the worst part.
He hit the Joey Styles. He hit the Joey Styles.
He hit the Sable theme song to talk about Caitlin Clark.
I'm joking. Nah, I'm actually. I love this. I love that so much attention is being brought on WNBA in the game. I think it is warranted. I think the attention is not the best attention, but it's like, hey, all publicity is good publicity at this point. It sucks because there's a lot of connotations. People are making it racial, and there's a little bit of a gender war thing going on, and it's like that's kind of whack about it. But at the end of the day, this is just what happens to all rookies in any league. They get hazed, they're getting played tough, and WNBA historically is a physical ass league.
Yeah,
they've been on that. I was just looking at old videos of Candace Parker's first year. She got into a fight. It's just what it always has been. But I think now that all the eyes are on it, it's just becoming more of a topic and a controversial trending topic. I will say one thing. I think Caitlin flops. I think she flops. It's funny. I've been wanting to get this take off. I think she flops hard.
Do you think that shoulder check? You think that flagrant was a flagrant?
Flop. Yeah, I think the shoulder check was a flop, but it was a good flop where it was like you just came at me for no reason anyway. So I'm warranted with the flop. Yeah. But the Angel Reese play in that same game where she was boxing her out and she fell, hard flop. That should have been called a technical on fucking Caitlin, because that was a crazy flop. And the reason why I say she's a flopper and I know she's a flopper is because she used to do it in college and I used to call it on her. In college, it wasn't as much of a story. So when she used to flop, then it used to be like, oh, that's offense. That's a foul on you. Mm-hmm. Here it's just, it's all these different eyes and connotations on it. So it's just a different ball game. But all in all, it's this is a part of the game. And I'm glad that she's taking it in stride and not really giving it too much attention. It'll stop, or it'll at least smooth over a plateau at some point.
Do you think that some of the reactions, I saw Angel Reese saying well, it's not just her that's causing all the conversation, it's me too. And I was just listen, I didn't feel like anyone was taking away any attention from her, but you gotta be real. I feel like you gotta be real. A lot of people are trying to see the Caitlin Clark show. It really is her show right now. It just is what it is. And I think that you take that situation and you be like, hey, just kind of you kind of rock with it. You know what I mean?
Angel Reese is hilarious, man. Great personality for the sport. I'm glad that she's in this. That was her fuck the big three, it's big me moment. I think that was it was uncalled for, but it was just funny to see. She had a point, but it was it just wasn't the point you're supposed to make.
Yeah.
I think what she was trying to say was just that like a lot of this energy around women's basketball started in the NCAA with me versus Caitlin Clark. Mm-hmm. And you're right. Now, Caitlin Clark is a far better basketball player than Angel Reese. Far better.
Hey, whoa. Don't say that too loud. Far better.
It's crazy.
Juneteenth in 2 weeks and you dare say that? That's nuts.
She gotta work on finishing. I saw a tweet today that said she had a lower field goal percentage than Jonte Porter, and he was trying to throw the game.
Trying to miss.
Yeah, she just got to work on finishing at the basket. Rebounds is A1, but I mean, when you catch your own rebound, it is what it is. I would actually like to see the stats. Her stats without
on offensive rebounds.
Her offensive rebounds without her being her own basket.
I'm sure you can get that on. I'm sure you can get that on StatMuse somewhere.
Yeah, I gotta look that up. But yeah, I don't know. I just think it's a lot. Like I love Angel Reese. I think she's super dope for the sport. Again, I really like her personality. I like what she brings to the game. Love her little pregame outfits. But
they all be drippy. A lot of them.
WNBA fits are way better than the NBA fits.
Yeah,
they be getting fits on all of them. I ain't even front. Caitlin Clark has some little like silk PJ joint.
Yeah.
Honestly, Caitlin Clark need to lean into the Rick Owens memes and just come all Rick Owens. Like if it came all Rick Owens, nigga, it would be over for the game. Niggas,
you don't think she's ever making Fit Ain't Nan?
I ain't seen it. I don't think no. From WNBA, they be getting the fits off.
All right, Josh, I got a question.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark show up, all denim tears fit. What you saying?
That's nasty. All denim tears is crazy. Hey, shout out to Cameron Brink too. She played for the Sparks. She's nice with it.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. This league, this year in the WNBA is the perfect time. Like,
it's pivotal. It's a pivotal year.
Aja Wilson, killing it right now. No one's talking about her, but she's out here smashing on niggas. Like niggas, it's crazy. I've been tuned in. I've been watching a few games. It's definitely been better than it has been in the past.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I think it's just like the discourse is always going to discourse. And,
of course.
We're seeing it. And that's why, like, I think I told y'all the other day, like, I don't even be on Instagram and Twitter like that no more. Because it's just like, I can't take it, man. It's too many opinions just getting shouted at me. Like, fuck.
I say it all the time. That tweet where the dude said, we're not supposed to know what everybody thinking like this. Like, it's the most truest thing I've ever said. Like, we're really not supposed to know what everyone feels about things. Like, it's the truth. Like, it's gotten really nasty, especially when it comes to the WNBA. There's a lot of people grandstanding on ethos and opinions that are just not even really like clear or there, or like it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like these women can ball, and I think that they're going through the growing pains of that attention, that national attention, which they ultimately wanted. But I think that they're gonna grow to learn how to kind of deal with all of that national spotlight. One more thing before we get off the NBA and WNBA, the TV rights. I think by the time we come back in 2 weeks, they're gonna be off of TNT. So we gotta pour one out for inside the NBA. I think it's over for it.
Yeah, so I got one more season of it this upcoming season, and then it's done for. I think they'll figure it out. I know Ernie's under contract with TNT, which is weird. Like, what's TNT gonna show? What they're gonna do with Ernie? They're gonna put him on like NASCAR or some shit.
They're gonna let him go, probably.
Yeah, that's what I figure. I see inside the NBA coming back in some form or fashion, different name, same crew. So I'm not that sad about it, but yeah, great chemistry, great team. Like, they can't let that show go. Like, the NBA would be a fool not to let that continue on in some way.
Huge loss just in general for TNT, TBS, Turner, all of that stuff. I think this might be, if this does happen and it does go through, one of the biggest kind of loss of carriage of anything that I've seen in my lifetime, at least. Like it's big. It's the equivalent of like CBS losing NFL out of nowhere one day.
I have no reason to watch TNT now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like fucking Texas Walker Ranger and like defend Nikita or some shit.
That's USA. All of that is USA actually. Play that shit. But what they do now on TNT is they just play like reruns of like the Batman and Justice League and fucking all of those movies, WB movies. They have NASCAR, I think, and they have college football or something. I think they have that, but I don't think anything to the level of what the NBA brought them. And again, like I said, like this would be the biggest. This is like a whole network's identity going away in no time. And Wall Street Journal reported this morning before we did the show that the NBA was looking at doing the deal with Amazon, NBC, and I think it was a third one. Do you remember the third? What was the third one, Mark? It was like a three station deal or something like that. But it's 3 stations involved in it, and NBA will be on all the NBA on Amazon is fucking huge. Just
yeah, I've been hearing grumblings of this since I was at Amazon. So I kind of saw it coming. That's huge. That's a big look.
Yeah,
big look.
Yeah, Amazon's going to be on NBA. ESPN is keeping their NBA content. So if you weren't the biggest fan of ESPN NBA content, it's staying. They're also keeping the NBA Finals. They're not sharing that with NBC. But NBC is going to get around 100 games, I want to say, for the season. About half of those are going to be strictly on Peacock. So hopefully you got Peacock one way or another, whether you got the regular tier or the big tier. But NBC is going to put some good stock into this for the first year or so, but staying on ESPN, and then Amazon is going to be something that's also interesting as well. So I feel it. NBA just wants to get on as many platforms as the NFL does. There's like 5 different channels from the NFL, all doing well. I think it's NBA's turn.
Yeah.
I would say exclusive on Peacock. They better not do that. That's a stretch. No one has Peacock.
I got Peacock.
A lot of it. Let me look at the numbers. How many subscribers does Peacock have? 34 million. That's a lot. They rose. To be able
to just tap in and watch a game. Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Well, actually, no. They're at 31. They lost 3 million, and they actually they lost 2.8 billion in 2023.
And isn't there a free tier? Am I wilding?
Huh?
Isn't there a free tier that you can just watch live shit?
There's a free tier. I will bet that the majority of that 31 million is probably on the free tier. But you know, I just off of ad revenue, I could see them doing a lot of those games on Peacock. But I could see NBC basically chucking a lot of those fucking sitcoms and whatever the fuck goes on that fucking channel and just airing NBA, you know, in perpetuity. And they might be able to get more games as the deal goes on, but. You know, like this is going to be big. Like there's a whole new channel, a whole 3-4 new channels to watch NBA on, just like there is NFL. And I think that when it comes down to it, people's eyes, their time, the money that they spend on these services is definitely at a premium. And if you don't have that, then you just don't look attractive to the consumer anymore. I mean, you're seeing a lot of these streaming services are teaming up. I think Hulu and Disney Plus and like I think what is it, Max or something like that. They're teaming up right now. Like it's getting real serious out here, especially for sports and stuff like that.
Turning the cable.
Yeah, exactly. And that's I tried to like make a list of all the streaming services I pay for, but what makes it hard is that there are certain things that the other one doesn't have. And it makes me think like I just need to get cable because I'm just like it's gonna have everything that I need and I don't even gotta ask for it.
Yeah, I'm not mad at just having all the streaming apps. I've kind of relegated myself to that. I'll just come in and do streaming roulette. Just pick one of them randomly. I'll watch this today. Shout out to you, man. I use your Peacock, so salute.
I always see you logging into the fucking Peacock too. I'm like, who the fuck is watching the Peacock now? Should I just make you your own fucking? Because I know you're using mine.
No, I use the other one. It's like one that's just like others or something. I forgot.
Everyone else.
Yeah.
So basically, he's watching. He's actually watching the one that my wife uses that she watches all the Housewives on. So I'm pretty sure whenever she goes, she's like, "What the fuck is all this stuff that's also here?"
Yeah, I be watching like fucking. I think she might have started her own now. I think I saw that she started her own account. Yeah, maybe that's when she was pissed off. Like, hold on, who's watching things? Who's watching shit on here? Yo,
I can't believe Josh this week.
Oh man!
All right. I got an idea for us, man. So a couple of weeks ago, Apple Music made a list of the top 100 albums of all time, and I didn't hold too much stock in this list. I think me and Mark talked about it in some capacity, But I what did you think of the list in general, Josh? I know that you were kind of over it, or you seen some of the things on it.
List, no, no. I mean, it's just so hard to rank the top anything. It's all objectional and just like how you feel. But I saw it. It's interesting. It's just like I think it's a victim of present day. It's a lot of like Frank Ocean and Kendrick Lamar and like great artists, great albums, but like I don't think they're the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my thoughts. But it's so hard to do. Like I for me to rank my favorite albums or the greatest albums, it would take me a year to finish that project because I would need to listen to the albums.
Well, how would you feel if I said I would give you 30 days to come up with this?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'll give it a shot. But like for me, it's like, is it greatest albums, favorite albums? Like it's like my greatest and my favorite are different.
I think I have this idea that we curate a list called the Blacklist, right? and it could be our favorite albums of all time. It doesn't have to be greatest, because I also don't think that I think with greatest, I'm the type of person that thinks that there are things that can be improved upon. Like things can be better. Like the Michael Jordan and LeBron argument. I'm like, well, however you land on, wherever you land on it, like I think that like greatness can be improved upon. Like nothing's perfect. You know what I'm saying? Like no album is perfect, no project is perfect to me. You know what I'm saying? So I think that in terms of the Blacklist, I have an idea that we do our own list and we have an episode and we talk about it and we talk about our choices and we try and come together with 3 of our lists, as well as some help from our patrons and our listeners. And we come up with a list that is by the community and with some input from us. So it's like we could come up with a way where we'll make this list sort of like how we did the RNC list. And if you guys have not heard the legendary story of how we came up with our RNC Radio greatest albums list of the decade back in 2018, 19, and all the arguments we had about that shit, we basically came together and the albums that had the most amount of entries that were shared between all of us got put into the final list. And from that final list, we actually had a debate and a round table about that. So like, I'm thinking we could do that same thing, but easier, instead of like, what do we have, Mark? Like 200 albums or 100 albums?
On what?
The RNC Radio one.
We had 100 albums on that list. I remember the top 10 artists that we had. That was for the decade. I can't remember if we had an albums one. We
had top 10, but it was from like a range of shit that got whittled down to top 10.
Oh, that got shaved down. I couldn't even remember how much I can't even remember how much we had to shave. I remember that 20 was, we were sweating bullets trying to figure out.
I remember the Young Thug argument. Remember the Young Thug argument. I remember the Wiz Khalifa argument for the top artist.
The Wiz argument I thought was going to divide the group.
It did. I don't think I talked to some of you for days. I don't think I talked to some of you motherfuckers for days. But I think that if we were able to do that, what would be some criteria? Can we put any genre? Can it be any genre? You could put Krungbin in it, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta go any genre. Or is it just rap? Like my top album ever would probably be fucking Young Jeezy, Trap or Die.
That's fine.
Thug Motivation. I'm sorry.
That's fine. I think it's fair, and I think we could find a way to weight some of these and have a good, like, it's a good like mid-year kind of list to have, just so we could like show listeners and everyone is tuning in like where we stand on certain things. Because I looked at that list and I said there's a real lack of like kind of like prevalent voices there. You know what I'm saying? Like voices that kind of are not going to think of the off the, you know, the usual Thriller, you know, all that shit. Like we're not gonna all think about that same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like obviously it's gonna be there, but like it's greatest, but is it our favorite? And I think a lot of people vote with that in mind, where it's like, well, I can't say Jeezy Thug Motivation because it's not like, no one would ever think it was the greatest, but it's my favorite. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what I want us to think of this list as.
Yeah, no, I'm down for it. I think, again, like I said, these lists are just like, there's a list for everything these days. But
our list is cooler.
Absolutely, I agree.
Our list is way cooler, and I want to get some of the patrons in. I'm gonna brainstorm with Mark and Josh over the next couple of weeks over this whole idea. I want to have like at least a top 50 from us by next month, so that we can whittle it down, and by the end of the summer, we can have the final Blacklist by like Labor Day.
Labor Day's not bad. Do you want to take the same cadence that Apple Music did and just do one album per artist?
No.
So there's a chance we could have multiple from the same artist in this 50.
Yeah, I mean, what's that really taking away from if you have multiple albums from one artist? Like, I think we'll eventually have to debate whether College Dropout or My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy should be the, on that list. I think it comes down to the numbers. Like, did these albums show up multiple times on our list? How many times, and do they get enough votes? Because I want to vote on it between the three of us or four of us with A+ as well, and I want to vote on it with the listeners too.
I do love the inclusion of the patrons, because I know the patrons have such a big voice in a lot of the music conversations that we do have on the show. So being able to have them, if you are on our Patreon, of course, only $2, you can jump in, have a voice, have an opinion on this list, and feel represented once we have the 50 albums. And 50's hard, man. Damn, do you think 100 is hard?
50's not hard.
100 is difficult. Every genre, 100 albums. You can do 100 R&B albums from the 70s and have a list. From the 80s and have a list. That's just one genre.
We could do it. I think we can do. I think that it's easier to come up with 50. You can come up with 50, and I could do 50 albums right now in 25 minutes.
50 albums in 25 minutes of your favorites of all time.
My favorites of all time. Yes.
Yeah,
I want to challenge. I want to challenge you to do it, but it feels like spoilers.
What you mean?
I want to challenge you to be like, just name five. Just name five right now. But you know what? It feels like spoilers.
Five albums. I'm wearing one of them. This would be on the list. BlkPrint 1. Jodeci Forever My Lady.
That would have been a good
what else could be on there? Space Jam soundtrack is definitely one of my favorite albums of all time.
That's no soundtracks on the list too. That was kind of controversial.
That's one of my favorite albums of all time. And Lil Wayne Carter 2. Those are for sure going on my list.
I feel like Josh would rock the Space Jam soundtrack.
No.
No? I thought it was If I Could See It, Then I Could Be It.
Yeah, but that's a good song, but I don't rock the whole soundtrack.
You know who?
Listen to
you don't rock with the whole sound.
That was Jay-Z.
Do not hate on Buggin'. No. You hating on Buggin'?
Definitely not a good song.
Oh my god!
Only one good song on that soundtrack, but
what the Hit 'Em High?
No. Mark referred to it. They sung it at one of you guys' graduations. I'm pretty sure one of your graduations.
That's the only good song on the Space Jam soundtrack.
Did they sing one of those songs at one of your graduations? They sing "I Believe I Can Fly."
So you're not showing love to "Fly Like an Eagle"?
Josh, you got to recognize.
You are wild. Fly like an eagle?
I lived in Virginia. We did we was all about the fucking national anthem. Niggas won't sing no R. Kelly at my shit.
Man, the show, I think it was like maybe 5th grade. I believe I can fly. Damn.
Wow.
Whole student body singing that shit.
Student body. The teacher singing it too?
Everybody. Tears screaming on their face.
But listen, Blacklist, I'm going to make my 50. Josh, you come up with your 50. Mark, you come up with your 50. We're going to get A+ to come up with his 50. We're going to get together. We're going to ask some of the patrons to put in, and we're going to come up with this. I'm going to come up with some rules and everything. So stay tuned to our Patreon. Stay tuned to I don't know how we'll get this out to our regular listeners. We'll figure out a way. We'll put it in the description of the show.
And we will say for the patrons that are with us and want to converse in the combo, one thing that we did not do in 2019, we didn't have video for a lot of things we're doing in 2019. Now you will literally see the cutting room floor of us deciding all of these albums on Patreon live. This won't just be like a usual upload. It'll be live.
That would be lit. We should do a live show of us deliberating everything.
Yep. All of that will be available for patrons throughout the summer as we gradually get this list together. I'm not sure what the cadence will be, but it will be live in front of everybody for those that are on Patreon with us.
I promise you. All right. I will get up, grab my keys, and leave. If I hear something I do not like. If I hear something I do. I feel like me and Mark, I'm going to leave off of you. I feel like I'm going to leave off of you. You might piss me off. Because the Saweetie conversation we had a couple weeks ago almost had me leaving the show. And earlier, when you didn't know that I was asking about the blowouts in the NBA playoffs, almost had me leaving the show too.
I was getting to why there was blowouts. You just don't let me paint the picture. See, too much impatience. That's what 2024 is. Too much impatience.
Why I need you to paint anything? We have a 2-hour show already.
So what's an extra 2 minutes on a combo?
Josh, we were already going through 2 minutes of that explanation.
That's funny. Nah, Cam, you be really Cam. Senator Cameron. See, it's crazy. You really be like, it's just the way you paint the picture.
What is wrong with the way I paint pictures?
It's like Bob Ross.
What are they, too vivid?
No, they're not. They're not vivid at all. They're just
what is it?
Talking.
A paint?
Senator Cameron.
Speaking of vivid, X/Twitter is now allowing porn on the platform. Announced yesterday. They basically said, "Hey man, we can't stop it no more. Pussy and bio will live on."
Sexy Red went crazy.
Sexy Red shit be. You ever just click on a tweet from Sexy Red and just scroll down?
No, I haven't.
I try, you gotta keep it abreast. So sometimes you're at work, you're on Twitter, just scrolling through your timeline, but like the For You page is like it's just everything mixed in now. So it's like you be scrolling and just ass, it's just on your screen. It's like fuck.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
What's Sexy Red? I'll be freaking out as well. Okay, let me look at her. I'm gonna look at her.
You can look at anything she posts.
Don't scroll down too far. You're gonna see the straight balloon knot the entire way.
I'm looking. I'm scrolling, and I'm scrolling, and I
you don't see balloon. I see. You should have seen it by now.
Oh wow! Look, there it goes. There it is.
Not too far.
That's one. It's another girl. That's what the hell?
You see the one legs behind the head? That's usually a frequent one.
Why does she get so many porn bots? Do y'all think?
Oh, honestly, I think it's like a digital marketing thing. I think that's like she gets a lot of good engagement, and in the beginning, I was like, something's going on, like, and now I think it's like people are catching on. She just has like a great personality, and they're engaged with it. But
yeah,
it's like when you turn on the digital marketing, you can't turn it off.
All right, I'm gonna stop scrolling here because I definitely went too far.
You sounded kind of distracted there.
What are they? What? Shut the fuck up. What? I just don't understand. Like, I feel like the my pussy and bio has been under everyone's Twitter replies for months now. I don't really know what floodgates they're opening up by letting porn be there, but thanks, I guess.
I think that was just a marketing thing.
Yeah, like it's already there. The porn's already there, man, for sure.
Now, have you ever searched something on Twitter and like the keywords are just like they're harmless, but then like it just starts showing you porn shit as you search it?
Yes.
I was like, this is crazy. I forgot what I was searching the other day, and like it started showing me like a bunch of gay porn. I'm like, let me just. I can't even search nothing on Twitter no more.
Can we know what the search was? I'm trying not to laugh so bad right now.
I deleted Twitter off my phone, so I don't even think.
That's what made you delete Twitter?
Nah, I told you, it's like sensory overload, bro. I was like that Dave Chappelle.
He was looking for UFO.
It was something like so harmless though, like pissed me off, kind of.
Oh my god, no, that's and again, so I just say that to say this: watch your searches. Watch what replies you're looking at on Twitter. Watch your own replies. You might have to mute a lot of them because it's only going to get worse. That shit looking like Canal Street at this point, bro. Like that shit it looks like the worst version of the Dave Chappelle internet skit from the Chappelle Show.
I'm telling you, that's exactly what it is.
It's like remember when he went to the nightclub but it was porn? It's almost like if he left the door open and just everyone just came out and they just was out with everything else. Like literally looking for like Street Fighter like videos and tips. And you start seeing hentai and fucking anime porn. It's like there's no getting away from it, bro. There's no filter.
I can't believe niggas be watching that shit.
There's a lot there's a lot of people that watch.
Porn is crazy.
Was never that guy, thank God.
Like hentai is huge. I mean, literally, you go to Japan. You've been to a Japanese bookstore.
I see it all the time. I'm just like, that's just different.
They didn't have it in the windows and shit when you were in Japan?
No, it's in the. I mean, yes, yeah, it's everywhere. Like it's normal to them. Like I went to a bookstore or like a little manga store that had like it was multi-floored. So like one floor was all the manga and all the figures. You go upstairs, it's literally all porn. But I like one thing that kind of unsettled me when I was in Japan. I don't think I ever said this. There was like this really older dude that was looking at like basically the equivalent of like little anime girls. Like they looked like they was like 16, 17. He was just flipping through that shit, and I was like, oh, it's really different out here. Like it's very different. Like it's normal out there to look at shit like that. It's not that's their culture, but you know what I'm saying, that shit is just different.
Y'all played around and didn't get the tango when y'all went to Japan. I'm a little bit hurt.
I got you this year when we go back. I got you in Japan. Why don't you come to Japan, Mark?
Yeah, you just gotta pop out, show niggas.
Yeah.
Too much right now. Enjoying the city. I'm trying not to laugh at Josh, man. Josh has had the biggest smile on his face the entire episode. That nigga put in all caps today. Sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas.
Hey man.
I said this was it. This is what you've been hyping for the past couple days.
Honestly, I hate to even talk about this again, man. Kendrick really did something with that record, man. Like he really like I know you J5, you're not listening to it because you don't like the contents of the character of the record. But that's a fucking record, man. That's a fucking fire record. Shout out to Kendrick, man.
Now, despite how I feel about that battle, the performance at the Forum is literally gonna be rap history. I can't say no to rap history. So,
oh yeah, it's gonna start a riot.
It's gonna start a riot. You think it's gonna implode the floors like fucking Ilmore?
Give me an earthquake. He might do that shit like 11 times in a row.
If he niggas in Paris is it, at least I'll know I can get early. At least I know I can get early leave. The streets nice and empty. And I was so upset. I wanted to go see T-Pain at the Hollywood Bowl that day. And damn, he just dropped it. I was so excited to see a Florida legend.
Why don't you just go see it?
I gotta choose. Say it again?
Why don't you just go see it?
They're gonna be on at like same time. Can't do two shows around the same time.
Nigga, it's gonna be all over the fucking Elliot Wilson's Instagram. You'll definitely not miss anything.
As much as that might be true, I'd rather see it in person than have to watch that online and then see T-Pain. Like, I feel like not that I have all the time in the world to see T-Pain. I don't know if this is I doubt this is his last show. He's doing well online, well on Twitch. I would assume he goes back on road. But, you know, I think I think it would pay off a little bit more to see who's gonna be on the pop out. That was called a pop out. Wink, wink. We done.
Mark hates this. You do too.
Why do I hate it? That's the thing. Niggas can't joke.
But here's the thing, Mark. You also really excited to talk about this shit. So like, I'm the only person that has stuck to whatever the fuck I said, bro. Like, you really be excited to talk about this shit.
I mean, what y'all want to talk about? You want to talk about what was it? What's Up, Delilah? What the fuck you call that song?
I haven't even listened to that either.
Yeah, you'll see it. You'll see it this Saturday on Saturday Night Live. SNL skits.
SNL skits.
That's what that song is. It's an SNL skit.
This is why niggas just can't laugh. I had to look at the comments that came from us talking about it on the last episode of something that was actually very well spoken, and people just take it as, oh, so nobody won because Drake lost? Ha ha ha. Makes no sense. Makes no sense in the world. And I'm just like, do we see where the...
I mean, whoever said that is like, I don't even know. Like, here's the thing. I never even saw that comment. So that obviously like means that I don't care what they think about that whole...
I care. Keep commenting, buddy.
Like, obviously I don't give a shit. So like, and then that's the thing. Like you like literally cannot, like if you, it's not even going against the grain. That's how I really feel. But like, obviously you can't like say anything, you know, adverse to whatever the popular opinion is. But at the end of the day, I've pretty much stood on what I've said for the past 2 months about this whole thing. I don't think anybody can say that I've ever wavered on how I felt about this at all. I'm barely talking about it now.
To get the ad bread.
You said what?
You not switching it up to get the ad bread, like how the YouTubers were doing this past month.
What you mean?
you see there's a little bit of a conversation. Not the biggest conversation online right now, but now that pretty much the beef is done, records are done. Everything that was happening last month with Kendrick and his label, reeling back a lot of the strikes that you would normally get for playing all the diss records, and you couldn't do it on YouTube. When they rolled it back and said, okay, everybody react to what you want to react to, play it live, crip walk to it, do whatever you want to do. Now that the month has passed, they're trying to recoup some of that.
Oh, they're giving them strikes. I did see that.
Let's get it straight. I want to let you get your version of it out. They're not recouping, or they just started claiming the record. So now they monetize on it, on the record of it, but it didn't take any of the revenue of the past month back.
Yeah, so people that were complaining about it are just like, "Oh my God, how could he do so?" And then there's people that are responding to the response are just like, "Okay, so did you respond to that last month and do your hurrah hurrah Kendrick just to make a buck, or did you actually feel that way?" So that's the discourse that's going on.
What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
That's like they're doing what they do with music that they put out, that everybody puts out. Everybody.
Yeah, no music is ever whitelisted for regular people anyway. So like it was gonna get claimed eventually anyway. So when I saw that, I said, well, duh. Like you don't own it. Like they own it at the end of the day. Like no one is safe from that. Like it wasn't actually whitelisted. Like it was a good practice. It was a good strategy to let everyone have the reactions because of whatever is to come later or whatever they want to do with it. But ultimately, that's just what they wanted to do. Like no one owns these records. Like that's why I was like, when people were getting upset about it, I was like, everyone is just going so crazy, y'all. Like this is why this shit is so dumb. Like everyone is acting so unordinary about this shit, bro. Like it's so fucking annoying to me, bro.
No,
on both sides.
Oh no, it's just everything's a political statement now. It's campaign year, man. 2024 music. It's crazy. Everything, every movement, every action is a political statement.
I can't hold this.
I mean, in a way, yes.
Hold the laughter, man.
It's
not even in a way, yes. Like not getting into specifics. Like in a way, yes. That's why I'm just like my thing about this shit is like I need to protect my peace. I need to protect me. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't really care to be about that shit. Like I have my opinion about it, and I feel how I feel about it, and the commenters might have a feeling about whatever I say. That's great. Thanks for watching. Good looks. You help remonetize, so thank you. But like no, like I didn't say there's no winner because did he listen to the clip when I said I didn't like what Drake said either? That I didn't like Drake.
Absolutely not. If you don't got your pom poms, if you don't got your pom poms out,
I didn't like any of it. I said I didn't think either of them looked good, and I said that yes, he lost. So like at the end of the day, like what do you mean? Like I said how I felt about it. I don't want to like go back too far into it, but it's like, bro, like the shit's are people happy? You know what I mean? Like are people happy? Like I'm just like, get what you need to get out of this shit ultimately, but at the end of the day, everyone's doing too much. Everybody's doing way too fucking much, and I think that that's where I stand on
continue on.
In month one, it'll continue on. It continues on as we go, and it'll continue honestly probably until next February, and then that's when it'll probably be over after they win all the Grammys for all of this shit. So like let's just get to it.
The series finale,
so I can fucking go on my fucking life, like shit, like.